Hi guys, welcome back. This is the Calling the Forgotten Files. And as you can tell, I am solo for a second tonight. Jen had something very important come up that she had to get to. And as usual, we will miss her, but she will be back. And so I got a special co-host. And then we had our guest had an emergency, which is totally understandable. We've been in contact all day. So I brought in two pop-up guests as a surprise. So we're not going to have our normal co-host that was assigned tonight. So we're going to have two other ladies. So it's going to be four ladies tonight, and we're going to have a good time. Thank you, Robbie Thomas, for last week. I really enjoyed the show. I really do. And I've been trying to do recaps afterwards to kind of touch on everything. But I feel like I'm rambling when Jen's not here. She's like my crutch. So we are on, I think, season 2, episode 5, which means we do 13 episodes in each season, just to come on and talk about important topics. Or tonight we might just be shooting the shit. Who knows? We will touch a little bit on things. But thank you guys for joining. And it's still going to be a great, great show, even though our guest wasn't here. And so, without further ado, I am going to bring on my co-host for the night. She is not from the paranormal field. She's not from the metaphysical field, but she's from my personal life. And I happen to work with her, and I think she's amazing. We spent time together. I've gotten to know that she's a very gentle, caring person, and she got the good inside. So I'm going to bring her on. Without further ado, Miss Maggie Harris. Hi, Maggie.
Hi.
This is her first podcast, guys. So let's break her in good, okay? Any questions, throw them in the chat. So what's up? How are you?
Feeling good. We're off work. Yay.
I know. Today was a day for sure. I could not wait for it to be over. Once it was over, I'm like, fuck, I can breathe. Like, it just kept going on. Like an hour after I clocked out, it was still coming in and I was submitting. I'm like, but it was really good. But so for people that don't know you, tell us just a little example of who you are and what you're about.
Well, I work with Shannon. You all know that. But what you don't know is that I have 4 kids, 3 grown sons and a daughter, and a son and daughter that live with me as well. 2 dogs, and I am single. So.
And you look like all of 27. Oh, let me turn my volume off.
So
I think that's pretty. Sorry, I didn't silence my notifications, which I usually try to do. So enough of that crap. So I really thank you for filling in tonight. I just think you're an amazing person. I was like, let's bring in Maggie. Let's bring someone that's not in the field, just to have great conversations with other people and just kind of go from there and just have a good time. So that's tonight. We're just doing like a round table kind of thing. And so, like I said, Animal was supposed to be on tonight. We talked all day. There's no issue there. It's just he had something pop up emergency within the last hour before the show started. So I called in a couple girls. We might even have a guy pop in that everybody just can't help but love or laugh at. We'll find out when he pops in later. But so without further ado, I'm going to bring in our co-host real quick. I'm sorry, our guests, our 2 special guests. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
All right, guys, we got Lauren Gonzalez and Chrissy Morales. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Thank you for jumping in last minute. And I was like, hey, what are you doing right now? Are you busy? Because you're about to be.
Right.
All right, so we'll just do a brief introduction of each person. Lauren, tell us a little bit about yourself and your past and your history and what you do.
Well,
yeah.
That could go a long way in multiple ways. I've been seeing since I was young, and I guess one of my first was a lady who helped me get out of my crib when I was a kid. I was literally barely able to stand up on the side of the rails, and later on, my mother could not figure out who in the world this was, but later on, years later, I found that it was her mother who had passed before I was born. So that was my first, and then I really blocked it out for a lot of years, and because there were a lot of things coming through I wasn't comfortable with, but started investigating. I'm going to go a whole skip too. past the marriages and traveling and living in other places. So I started investigating about 8 years ago with groups, but I did with my sisters along the way and other friends. I've investigated with Shannon. I have Texas Paranormal Expeditions, DSW, and I don't know. I really don't know what to say about myself.
Lauren and I were roommates, and
we were roommates.
We were roommates, and it was awesome because she was my dealer.
I'm her dealer.
Because she, crystals and stones and everything, and I'm like, "What do you got in? I'm ready to spend some money." I was like,
"Yep, what do you got? What do you got?"
And you gifted me with really great stuff as well.
Yes,
and I appreciate that. And then Miss Chrissy, listen, Queen, listen. Tell me about yourself.
Well, to those of you who don't know me, I am in the field. I am an empath. I do have gifts. I've been with a team now for I think 6 years, but I've had experiences since I was probably about 5 years old. I love the metaphysical. I'm co-owner of Paralinks Network with Howard Petrie. I have 4 children. I am fixing to be married.
Yeah, you are.
So, I mean, I have a passion, I have a heart, and I love this field, and I love meeting new people.
There you go. And you have the Fear Fest, part 3 coming up? And
yeah,
can you tell us a little bit about that real quick?
Yeah, that's going to be the last weekend in October of this year. It'll be right on the outskirts of New Orleans. You can go to Eventbrite and get your tickets if you want to rent a booth, or if you want to get tickets and just attend. There's going to be a lot going on. It will be Friday through Sunday. We have I think we're going to get 3 locations for investigations, but we're still locking in those. But it's actually going to be at the Pontchartrain Civic Center is where we're holding the actual event. But for the investigations, we're still working on that behind the scenes because we want to bring really good locations, but we don't want oversaturated locations.
Right.
Anybody who's never been to New Orleans, I would venture to say that it's probably one of the most haunted cities I've ever been in. My first time was very overwhelming, and I wasn't even investigating. So it's a city like no other.
Is Myrtle Plantation on that list, Chris?
We're working on some things behind the scenes, and we are actually talking to them about potentially being there at the event with a booth. So they haven't locked it in, so I can't say for sure, but we are, like I said, working on the 3 locations that we will be hosting an investigation, which will be Saturday night. There's a concert with Ghost Static. They are actually a paranormal group, and they're
hot too.
And they're a rock band.
Yeah.
They will be performing Friday night and Saturday night. So I mean, it's just there's going to be a whole lot to do on top of being, right by New Orleans and going to the city, going to the French Quarters, seeing all the beautiful sights. It's going to be an amazing time.
Hi, Leanne.
Hi, Leanne.
Hi, Leanne.
My sister.
Yeah, and of course y'all are doing that while I'm going to be in Scotland for 8 days. I'm like, really?
I'm sorry, ma'am. We spent too long planning to change it.
Whatever. I know. I'm not going to change mine either. I got a hell of a deal. Oh. Okay, so as we have all women on right now, so, and as we do, we try to hit on some tough topics. So we're just going to have a round table tonight. But, having us all women here, we're all mothers. And so we talked a little bit before the show. And, I was just kind of curious because, at one point we were single mothers, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like at any point, did you have to go through something so traumatic as a single mother that you were able to overcome? And like, because there's a certain I don't even know what to call it. Like when you're a single mother and you're faced with trauma alone, there's no one to help you. There's no one to confide in except for other people that can't really relate, and I think that's really important because like a lot of times single mothers go through stuff that they can't really convey for other people to really understand what they're experiencing.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
it's just, it's really hard sometimes. And it's like, may not be something crazy to someone else, but it is to you because you're doing it alone.
Yeah.
And
so I guess I'll give you a little bit of my backstory, which a lot of people don't know. So I was married for almost 22 years. And he died at work in an accident. So then I was left to take care of our children, our 4 children who were all minors at the time.
a lot.
It was hard. And honestly, I went back to work 2 weeks after he died. But I think I needed that because to sit at home and stare at the walls and look at the sadness on the children's face and have to just bring it all in and stare it in the face, it was hard. And the one thing that I tell people is that grief is different for everybody. And you walk through grief and you process grief so differently. And it's okay because it's a lifetime walk. It's a lifetime experience. But I had to pull the pieces together. I had to get my head right because I had children to take care of and I had a home to take care of and a career, and it was hard. It was very difficult. You make those choices, okay, needs versus wants.
Yeah.
I went from being able to afford some of the nicer things to barely affording groceries.
Electricity.
Yeah. Making the choice. Okay, well, I pay this bill this month, this bill next month, and then this one's going to be on disconnect. But you just learn to minimize what you have to have in those times.
Yeah.
You learn the importance of things, if you will. You learn that, well, you can live without this, but you can't live without this.
Of things, if you will. You learn that what you
Is somebody's cell phone on?
Has to be.
Hang on, guys. I don't know what's going on. It might be mine.
Did I hear that? Did somebody have the podcast pulled up on the side? There you go. Stop. It happens. I've done it before. I'm like, oh snap, let me turn it off. Yeah, the thing is like, when you're a strong, independent woman, especially when you're thrown and have to be really quick, I don't think people really realize that they might check in with you, but you are literally doing it alone. That does not mean you don't need just that sisterhood, that emotional support. Just, I see what you're doing and you're doing great. That's enough. It ain't like, come and help me. It's just, I acknowledge you're doing good and you're doing great and you're doing it on your own. And I support with what you're doing with your life right now. And that goes a long way, just being there. You don't have to do anything for me. Just sometimes acknowledgement. It's like,
yeah,
I see you. You're doing good. It's like, Chrissy, I see you. You did great. Not only that, you came out of it like kind of like engaged and about to get married.
Yes.
That's a wrong way to say it. I apologize.
And that's just it. So like I thought that I would never find love again. I thought that I was going to be alone forever. But in that grief stage, everything seems horrible in that moment. And you are angry at God, you are angry at the world, you're angry at everything, and you don't think you're ever going to find happiness again. But again, I found my faith back again, and I found the ability to love and be loved again. And he's the love of my life. He's my twin flame. He really is.
Y'all are ridiculous.
And it is ridiculous. People say we're so sickening, but it's just, he and I had this discussion, honestly, because I was like, I wonder what would have happened had we met when we were younger. And he said, baby, we weren't meant to meet when we were younger. I was meant to step into your life in this phase, and you were meant to step in mine. Because he was on death's door, which some people may not know that. We started talking and
Yeah.
dating, and then there was an accident, and he was on life support, and he nearly died. So it's just, there's a reason and season for everything.
Exactly.
So I'm thankful.
And you gotta trust the process. Trust the process is the hardest thing to do, and I gotta tell myself that all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, I'm the biggest fuckity fuck person in the world. You ladies already know that. I'll be the first one to go, this is bullshit. But I really have to remind myself, get back in alignment. Everything's okay. Everything goes the way it's supposed to, because that's your path.
Yeah.
Because y'all know back in August, I was a hot damn mess. I met Maggie back in August when we went to training together, and she was there. She was witness to what I was going through firsthand in person, and it was just, that was not easy for me to try to put on a happy face with the job I was trying to embrace.
Oh, I know. Maggie, I was on the phone calls, face phone calls with her while she was on break or at the bar. And
was
he was trying to help her rein it in.
Lauren was key to all that stuff too, even before it all happened. Even the build up of the good build up of it going bad. Like, Lauren was right there by my side, and everything seemed so okay, like it was going to be great. And and then, just the full, everyone giving people that had doubts, verbal, like, don't worry, I got her. It was just, I let my guards down, and
yeah,
I know it's okay to, but I gave myself permission a few months ago to literally, actually, it's a couple months ago. You know what I learned at the retreat in Colorado was like, it's okay to walk away when I see red flags, to acknowledge them and not make excuses for them.
absolutely.
Everyone's red flags are different. Those are in alignment with who you are as a person and what your internal system is telling you is not good for you. If it's a red flag, fucking walk away. You can still see the good in someone and not fall in love with them.
Absolutely.
Because you're falling in love with their red flags, not the person they are.
You're falling in love with what you think you can fix.
Right. Yeah. I don't think you can fix anything.
Exactly.
I'm like,
exactly.
I can't even fix my car.
Yeah, that's a very good one for me, because you see her sitting out there. Like, Mom.
Lauren, your audio is a little scratchy.
Is it? I think it's this. I may just go back on the speaker.
Yeah, go back on speaker.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, because Lauren was around, like, we were side by side roommates, and I'm just like, man, it's so funny how you can put so much effort and energy into something you think is going to be so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And you embrace it, and you build your world up around there naively, in a way. I cut that naive shit out, by the way, but you build it up, and when it comes crashing down, it is in a very nasty, narcissistic way. Like, here you are looking like the problem, and it's just like, all I did was fucking give you the love that you begged me for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was it. You begged me for it. I reciprocated. I didn't put up with your bullshit, and then I'm the one that suffered, and I'm the crazy one. But none of that even matters, because I'm doing good. Like, it's just, I like, you have to reflect on things sometimes to understand. You really have to process so you don't repeat the cycles.
Absolutely.
That's important. So,
yeah.
Maggie,
you need to come up here and see me, damn it.
I want to come up and see you. I will be making a trip up there really, really soon. Maybe in 3 weeks. I could use a girls' night.
I know. we can go karaoke again.
I won't do karaoke. You're the one that can sing.
Yeah, but you're the one that can dance. I cannot dance, like, at all. It's just like, I'm either a stripper or Uncle Bob at a wedding. There is no in between with me. It takes a lot of drinks to get to that point where I just don't do it. I've come to terms with it. I don't have the rhythm, and let it be.
I think I'm more towards the latter.
You what? No, because like, when we were on corporate training, like, Maggie and I spent a lot of time together, like, after hours, after our corporate dinners. Let's go have a drink. We got the corporate card. We can only have one drink on there, but we got to get an appetizer with it. And then we can put the rest on our own card. And we had fun. We had so much fun. We were just getting to know each other, and I'm like, this bitch is awesome. All of you bitches are awesome.
Yeah, I had a blast, and it was just what I needed at the time because, that's a tense situation trying to learn all about a new job. And yeah.
Going through a cross-country breakup with a mass drama. I was like, I can do this. Oh my gosh, I can do this. But all aside, like I said, there's always something beautiful waiting, and then something crazy is going to pop up next. There's always going to be something. So don't get stuck on the shit because there's another pile of shit just waiting for you to come through it right down the corner. Get through it real fast and move on. If you see it as the worst day in the world, it's going to be the worst day. If you see it as an obstacle, yeah, I got this, then you got it and it moves on. Your perception is your reality. And I got to remind myself of that sometimes,
Well, and not only that, but what you experience, it can help somebody else.
Yeah.
So your story, the way you processed it, what you learned from how you processed it, can help somebody else who may be struggling and need that push to be like, okay, I got to get up. I got to pick up the pieces. I got to move forward. They may sit in that mess if they don't have your story or your guidance, or your ear, because sometimes that's all people really need is you to just listen.
That's it. And then just, you never know when life is going to throw a plot twist at you. You just never know. And it's just, well, I didn't know.
And how many times did you say to me, Shannon, how many times did you say, I'm sorry, Chrissy, I'm so sorry to be calling you. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, Shannon, it's okay. It's okay.
I don't like being the broken one. And I was broken.
But
I was broken in front of my job. I was broken in front of my friends. I was broken in front of the field. I was broken in front of myself. I was broken in front of my family and my kids. Oh my God, I'm gonna get teared up. That was hard for me to swallow because I am a strong. Oh, stop it. That was hard for me because how many people were reassured that this is good, and then just being not only just going back, like someone that was on the show not too long ago goes, I'm tired of people, just instead of saying it didn't work out, calling it, they call it emotional abuse when instead of just admitting it didn't work out, I'm like, all right, bitch, look, first off, I didn't say nothing, but that was the most horrible thing I've heard in a year. For someone that was being, talking about how they were abused, sitting there discrediting someone that has been through emotional trauma trying to come out of it. Like, no, I only got slapped one time when I was in my sleep. It wasn't like beaten up, but the emotional abuse, the cheating, like everything just traumatizing. But just discrediting, like just to be that vulnerable in front of people knowing what happened to me and it being public in our little realm, that was hard for me. And I didn't handle it too well at first.
Hey, we all have those moments. So.
But I did my best with what I was working with. Like I said, my job, everything was being affected by this one thing and my world came crashing down. And Maggie was there for me that week in person. Look at me.
So I tried to get her to absorb it.
I tried to get her to come with me because like that week of training, the first week, I took Helen and Kim and Diane, and we went to Goatman's Bridge. We like snuck away from work.
That time.
And she was like, I am not going. I tried to talk her into it. But, someone that was there got really affected. I had to pull them out like within 5 minutes and like calm their energy.
They like too. That's why I didn't go.
But you know what? She came out of it great. Like she went from like, oh, to, all right. Just, you got to really, if you can that's the thing is you don't take people to do stuff like this, interact with spirit, and whether dark, positive, negative, whatever. Right. You don't do that unless you are paying attention to the way they're behaving, their responses, their eyes, how their eyes are reacting to things they say, their body movements. And if you can't counteract that and be there and be supportive and help them in that moment, don't do it. Because you don't know what you can encounter.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was there.
So Maggie, have you ever done anything paranormal?
No, because when I was a child, I used to have dreams about hell all the time. I actually, it was the weirdest thing. And now they call it something. They call it sleep paralysis, I think.
Mhm.
This is so creepy, and it's kind of stupid and funny at the same time. But
Not stupid.
well, hear the dream. So I woke up. It was so bad. I used to sleep with my sister, my older sister. So I had gotten up out of bed in the dream, went into my mom's room, and there was this creepy old cane like rocking chair, that was popular in the 80s, had the cane back and the seat.
Yes.
Spindle. Kirk Douglas was sitting there. I watched a movie with him or something, but there he was with his bald head sitting in this chair. And my mom used to crochet on the couch while she watched TV. So I ran into the living room, saying, because when I went in there, he had this face on and it was just this creepy smile. And so of course I ran, because there shouldn't have been anybody in my mom's bedroom like that. And so I was trying to tell my mom that there was somebody in there, and I couldn't talk. No boy, nothing was coming out. She just kept crocheting over, just like I wasn't even there. And then he jumped into my body. Ever since then, with every house we've ever lived in, we've had different things, shaking of doorknobs. We've had footsteps on stairs, feelings of somebody watching you. I mean, it's just been the gamut. So I'm like, I'm not going to put myself in that situation where something can
Right.
come. So I decided.
You're a conduit.
Uh-huh.
You're a conduit, a spiritual conduit, like where spirits can do that, and there's a way to stop that, but it's if you want to go down that realm or not.
I don't know. What is that consist of?
Just boundaries more than
and learning
anything.
how.
It's setting those boundaries, like.
Yep.
And I had a situation where it was happening to me, like things were coming. I used to say entering from behind. That sounds very vulgar. Coming from behind, I could feel absorbed into my body, but usually it was over the head, like those little gel slinky things is what it felt like. And then, and I was in the shower one day and I'm like, no, you are not. I'm like, I'm not going through this again. Like, you are not allowed. You can stand. I was in the shower because I had to get away from my kids. I didn't want to have that conversation around my kids because I had to know what I just had my heart like grabbed and squeezed, and like my mom took, I think she was 35 minutes counting to get my blood pressure down, because it was just like I opened the door and all of a sudden I see this skeletal grayish sunken in face, and then my heart was being squeezed. He was letting me know he had a heart attack, but I was freaked out. And so, and I talked to a previous associate. She's like, well, ask him what he wants. I'm like, not in front of my family, not with what I just went through. So I went and took a shower so I could have that private space. And I was like, okay, I'm here. And I see this hand, his face in the shower curtain. There's a white shower curtain with the lining on the other side, whatever, the cloth lining. And I see a hand shadow print coming towards the curtain. I'm like, the hell? And next thing you know, I start feeling that. I'm like, nope. And I said, this is the deal. I'm here. I will listen to you, but you are not allowed to do that. Stand next to me, sit next to me, and tell me what you want, but that is not allowed. And I'm telling you, I haven't had it happen since. You just got to know your boundaries, know your energy, and that's important too. Don't go down that venturing. If you're having those experiences, don't just like start trying to play with it. Learn a little bit more about energy and spirit.
And people that have no clue what they're doing, they get out there and then they find themselves in trouble and things home with them.
Right, Lauren.
But I think when you're a conduit, it's important that you acknowledge that they're there, but you set those boundaries. And you let them know, look, this is my space. This is my time. I don't want this connection, just so they understand.
Well, we did we anointed the house with oil.
Okay.
And so far, it's been okay. It's been a lot better. I mean, we had purchased an antique chest that would knock. Oh no! Why are you laughing?
We're laughing because here's the thing. So anytime, and I'm gonna give you the game, girl. Anytime you buy something antique, the likelihood of a spirit is going to be on that item. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. So don't think that you're bringing bad stuff in, but you are bringing potentially spirits that was attached to that item. Always when you buy antique items, it's just like walking into a historical building or home. You can feel the energy, you can feel the spirits, they're there. So if you don't want things coming, you might not want to buy antiques.
And the thing is, if you're already sensitive to energy or anything like that, it may not affect anyone. It's going to affect you. And you're going to be faced with the fact that that's what's happening when you buy something ancient antique that has, sometimes I would call it an attachment. Sometimes I wouldn't. It just might have that residual energy.
Yeah.
But that's something like, that happens. And a lot of people don't experience that, but that leads you to wonder, why are you having those experiences, ma'am? Okay. So sorry, we have to jump to really quick. Hello, Scotty. Scotty is going to be our +1 tonight.
Scotty too hottie. He's the only man on the panel.
Man, I tell you what. I jumped in. I go, wait a minute. I'm the only dude here. What in the world?
You're welcome. You are so welcome.
Lots of estrogen.
So we have to ask you, how does that make you feel?
Very little.
All right, so I want to get to some of the guests, the audience comments. It says, any guests on here? Oh, I can't see it. Hold on.
I can't see comments.
I put my cursor on it. Okay, any guest on here is in a free, safe zone. I love hearing all experiences, and we're open-minded, so please don't be ashamed or embarrassed. Exactly. Like, you're actually in an arena of people that get it, if you want to share anything. And also we have my Facebook user, has anyone experienced with cryptozoology, like hellhounds or anything like that? I've experienced something that only one person has come close to, but I had other witnesses that were there. It was insane. Any of you guys?
Not me.
Not zoology, but I mean,
Some of the guests.
UFO.
Not in person, but in premonition and dreams. Hellhounds at the bottom of a staircase that climb that staircase immensely fast. But as it gets to me, I'm yelling for my significant other, and then the dream always ends.
That's your safe word. It's better than pineapple.
And here's the thing. I honestly, because he has premonitions and dreams, and he has a lot of nightmares. So I really think that it's showing me some of his nightmares. And I think that's why it never truly reaches me.
That's funny. When I'm having my in-between moments in my sleep, it's before I'm dead asleep, and I'm definitely not awake, but that's when everything happens for me at night. Like, it just does. And I've learned to pay attention. And like, when I wake up, it's always, no matter how calm it is or a message, I still jolt up. And that's how I know when I wake up, like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why. I need to start telling myself stay in longer.
Yeah.
But when I do, I look at Liam, because like right now we're in a 1-bedroom, we're about to move to a house. So Liam and I sleep in the same bed, whatever, he's my baby. But I notice when I wake up from that, Liam is having intense lucid dreams those nights. Other times he sleeps like a rock, but Liam's a little sensitive to those things. And so I put that protection over him to calm him down and get good sleep.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got another question here. Any items you think may have an attachment on your man?
Like, I'll take those antiques off of you, ma'am. And hi, Stephen.
I'll give you a good price.
So, Maggie, do you think you would ever, if you got a little more comfortable and went to a very safe place, would you, with the right people, do a minimal, I wouldn't even want to call it investigation.
Just exploration, maybe.
Yeah, just you can do that at the grocery store. You can do that in the car. You can do that at the park. Energy is all around you.
Everywhere.
Maybe just explore how to connect and only accept in good energy. Would that be something you would be interested in? Or is like way out of something you don't even want to mess with? And then either answer is okay.
Well, I'll do the car. I'll stay in the car while I'll observe.
That's awesome.
So what's up, Scotty?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just just got done eating. So
Eating is your mom's birthday.
yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, tell her happy birthday.
Oh, definitely. So,
Mama's birthday.
Mama's birthday. So she
She
wanted
was on
to
your first show.
say what?
Yes, she was.
She was on your first show.
She was. She really was. And I think I'm going to have her back for next season as well. Because, like, we got good viewership for that. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, y'all are hilarious.
Well, everybody wants to see the lady that gave birth to this legend, So, I mean.
Potato.
Meet the woman.
So, it's a legend. Wait for it. Dairy. But,
Hi, George. Hi, Stephen. Hi, everyone. I'm not trying to ignore you. Sorry.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Speaking of, so let's give a shout out. Scotty is going to be a special guest at Fear Fest, and he's going to speak. Stephen Woodard and Crystal Woodard are going to be guest speakers.
So
And
is
George
Yep.
and Kara Shoplin is going to be a guest speaker.
Yay.
Beth Allen is going to be a guest speaker, and she also will be doing readings and
Nice.
potentially Reiki healing.
Nice.
Yeah, Beth is like the bomb diggity, man. I'm just telling you.
And Sharon will be in Scotland.
And I will be in Scotland.
Oh.
But you know what I'm doing in Scotland, though? It's not just I will be in Scotland. Okay, so my ancestral line is the McLeods, McCleod, or the McCoys, but McCoig. Well, part of the McLeods that are in the paranormal field, because I'm going to be over there anyways, invited me on Halloween night to go to Sterling to be part of the investigation where the beheading and the witch trials.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, like with my ancestral line, like shut up. I'm like,
did
done.
you say McLeod?
What?
You say McLeod?
McLeod. M-A-C. McLeod. Yeah, McLeod.
Okay, because I was going to say there can only be one.
I would do that. I would do historical ghosts.
That's a big part of it. Like you can connect with, you don't have to go looking for, it's not what people think it is, especially coming in, especially because the TV shows. Connecting the spirit or even just energy, period, is such a beautiful thing. It's not always beautiful, but you can put your boundaries and make what you want of it, and then just have the support to, guide you through everything. You can have a conversation with spirit and not be just a negative, bad thing. It's actually pretty amazing when you can get the results from it. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think, Lauren?
Absolutely.
I love you.
I mean, seriously, that's the best thing is just to go and try to understand and feel the energies and explain and explore what you're doing and feeling.
And that helps too.
Yeah, it does. Well, it's my pilgrimage. I'm going back for a reason. I want to go back because, I was always an intuitive empath before, but that's when I started seeing spirit. That's when I started, hearing, mostly seeing or feeling the energy of. That's when everything changed for me because I had an experience there that shook me to my core. And then now smell. Lauren, you were there when I was smelling death, and I was like almost petrified. I'm like, you don't smell that? I wanted to throw up. It was so strong. And everybody's like,
yeah,
no. What does that smell like? Sulfur?
When you smell a skunk or you eat the skunk jelly beans, and you're like, oh, that's what it was like. It was so overwhelming. It was like a sensory overload that I could not deal with. It's only happened a couple times, but it was very prevalent, and it was just like, and I was like, it's moving right here. And Lauren's like, yeah.
No, I am so glad my camera's off.
I think y'all films over there too. So if you see anybody over there.
Oh, I'm going to see stuff. I'm telling you, I'm going to see stuff. What happened when I was there was just insane. They passed something down to me because the night before in my in-between, they showed me what happened to them. And it was through, when you get a message, it's not always a clear picture. You might see something that might represent. So what happened was, in this dream in-between place, it was like little chihuahua type dogs jumping and biting my fingers, but they weren't biting, they were squeezing. And I remember going, what the hell is this? And they were squeezing so hard that my nails were popping off. And then it was just, and then the next thing you know, I feel like my hands are down towards my ankles and I'm like being pushed side to side, swaying. But when I woke up, the emotion of it had me like, I was startled. I mean, I was crying. I woke my ex up because, I mean, as soon as I like jolted, like, as I do in those moments, I shoveled my feet so hard in the bed that my back hit the headboard. And I woke my ex up and we talked about it. And then the next night when we were doing the catacombs underneath the Royal Mile in Scotland, in the Edinburgh Castle, they had, the period clothing, people out there with the mist and fog and the cobblestone and everything. And they were just livening it up. They asked for a volunteer. We drank scotch that day, pre-fun. And I was like, I'll do it. Well, when they brought me up, they said, I had no idea. I thought we were just doing this like tour and like kind of not really, it was a tour, but we had time in each area. And I thought that was just, I'll be a volunteer. I didn't know they were going to break into what they did to witches. They broke into the witch trials or the accused witches.
Right.
Like if you had red hair, freckles, moles, anything. And if you were automatically, you are a witch. And if you did not agree with it or you wouldn't admit it, they would put wooden vices on your fingers and crank them until your nails would pop off. And so when they said that, I was just like, I looked at my ex, he looked at me, I couldn't breathe. I was just like freaking out. And he understood because I told him exactly what happened in my dream because he saw how traumatized I was. And then when it got to, he said, if you still won't admit it, they'll tie your hands to your ankles and then on the plank push you off into the marsh and you drown and die.
That's crazy. I remember you telling that story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going back for a reason. Once I got over all this crap that was going on with that previous situation, I was like, it's time now. It's time to go. And I'm going to go back on that same land, same place and say, I'm here. What else? What I've evolved from that. What do you need me to do now? What is of me?
See, you talking about Scotland. I got ancestry from Scotland. So, and I should get some of my book out and read you some of the names sometimes. And I don't know, it's weird. That's why I want to go back or go there because I want to go back to the motherland.
Yeah, I felt something about that Scottish blood. You were just bagpipes. Like, I mean, the fog, it's insane.
Yes.
But when I was there, I didn't know the surnames. I didn't know because I was given inaccurate information. So I was kind of stupid because they have this like place you can go to at Edinburgh Castle where they can look up your surname and then mail you a full report, an ancestral line, everything. And I didn't know. So all I knew was Rogers. And they were like, actually, Rogers has a lot of history. It's more English. But, but that's all I had. And so when I finally got the information of everything that was going on and all this, I'm like, man, I can't go away. I'm not going to go back. But, through social media and DNA, ancestry.com and all that stuff and DNA testing and everything, I've been able to learn a lot more. Plus the family has gotten together and talked about things. And I'm like, yeah, the best thing I can do right now is just honor who I am. And I want to go back and say, like, let's cleanse, let's regroup, and let's kick some ass.
Well, I always thought maybe I was from Ireland because I'm a leprechaun.
I can see that. Except instead of the rainbow, it's a stripper pole. Y'all haven't seen him on the stripper pole at a bike rally. I was laughing so hard. I never laughed so hard in a podcast in my life. That was I think my first experience with watching you on a podcast. I was like, this motherfucker is
It was the apple pie, bro. It was the apple pie.
Sure it was.
Apple pie moonshine or
yes.
They put Scotty in charge of it this year, and he's not allowed to be in charge of it no more because it disappeared really fast.
Oh no, he was like the man on the street to the podcast. I'm like, this is fucking epic.
Yeah,
I loved watching it, and I was just like, "Who is this little guy?"
For a repo.
And then he's like walking up to drunk bikers. Show me your tits. Like I was like, I mean, just to speak vaguely, like I was like, who is this person? And when you like tried to attempt to climb that stripper pole, I was done. I almost peed on myself. I'm like, I can't.
My socks were on. I couldn't grip.
Whatever. I'm not judging. It's non-judgmental zone here.
So what did he have on besides socks?
Listen,
Oh
A
no.
hell of a buzz.
listen. Let me explain this to you, okay? So he started out the day with some clothes on, but then at some point he got so drunk that he lost his underwear. So he's sending me a video of Chrissy. I'm trying not to show this, but I don't have any underwear on. Now, what he didn't realize was he showed me everything.
That was accident, bro.
That wasn't live, right?
Because
No, that was not. No, it wasn't live.
I was like,
So you know really well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
oh
He knows
my
Jason
god,
Wall really well.
he's funny. But that was my first experience with Scotty. I'm like, who is this masked man leg humper? Like,
I think he ended up being in underwear on the pole, though. When he
Yeah.
got on the pole to dance,
did he? Because I don't.
he was in boxer shorts.
Socks.
Yeah, underwear.
I think I do remember the boxer shorts. Yeah, he was lit like a kite, but it was so fucking funny. I still today have not seen a show that made me laugh so hard, and like I appreciated that one. I was like, y'all gotta do that more often. Just have a man on the street because that was great. Like, home days just come full out there acting like a damn fool around bikers drunk. It was
Part
great.
2 coming in July.
There you go. There you go. He goes every year.
Yep. It's a good time. It really is. I'm trying to talk April into going, but she won't go.
Yeah.
Aw.
But I can see why she'd be like, I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker. I'm gonna shoot him.
Who is this person?
Yeah. That's funny.
So I'm getting set up to move, and it's so weird.
Where are you moving to?
A house, if I choose to take
Alright.
it. I'm like I
So
said, when I
you're
moved back in a
in
rush from Virginia, on the way back, I was gonna have to move back and figure out what I was gonna do. My best friend, I had two best friends, a girl and a guy. The guy passed away, but Holly, my best friend's like, hey, my son, he just got contracted in Colorado. He's got an apartment. You can move in there and just take over the lease. They trust me because they know that I'm good for it, which I have been. And so I'm like, okay, great. But I want a house. I can't renew the lease here. You know, ends in June. So I've been starting to look now so I'm not caught with my tail between my legs. So I found a duplex, which is only $1,200 a month, backyard. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, you know, with a carport and storage and everything, and it's wide open. But they want $3,600 down.
Good Lord, where you live, New York?
No, that's the thing. It's really excessive. But, you know, it's only $1,200 a month. But I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I might have to move in at the beginning of May. And what does that look like? I have to pay 2 months here plus 2 months there after coming up with $3,600. So this Saturday, I'm going to go out and look at other places because I found 3 bedrooms for like $1,450 and stuff like that. So, because my son just moved home. Mason just moved home for school. So,
See, that's just crazy you say that because when you say like 1,200 and 1,450, like you pay twice as much as what we.
oh,
do.
honey, it used to not be that much. California is moving here because I'm in the metroplex of Dallas, which is Plano.
Oh,
All the Fortune 500, even our company that like Maggie and I work at, they've shut down their manufacturing and distribution in California because we have, and the location they have here in Plano, which is outside of Dallas, we have the space to do everything there, and it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. So everything is moving here, but they're bringing their politics, and 2, they're bringing their pricing, and so everything's gone up. The townhome my parents just moved out of a couple weeks ago. 10 years ago, I lived there. It was $650 when I did. They were paying, I think, $1,300. Just 10 years later, like everything is going up. Rent is going up like crazy. I paid $1,350 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. The only thing they have here, it's more dog friendly than it is family friendly. So there's a dog run, but I can't, I have no patio. I can't that's why I recluse so much is one, I put everything into my job. And 2, I've come in to being a hermit because I don't go outside to smoke anymore, and there's nothing to do when we do go outside. So I need
Right.
that stimulation of like getting out and doing things. So like having a backyard, being able to take Liam to play in the backyard, having things to disperse and put up in storage areas in the house is going to be great. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm really going to see what I can find Saturday, because as much as that rent is going to be great to work with, I don't want to put that much down. Like I'm going to be like bleeding my soul dry and scared to buy toilet paper for like a couple months. Like if I do that, so we don't need to do that. But
Well, I love where you live. I mean, you should be able to find something. I
yeah,
mean,
you've been here. Yeah, you've been here literally in my place.
yeah.
So
I mean, I like the area a lot, actually.
it's not too bad, but I want to be a little more outskirts where I could do a bonfire or a fire pit.
Yeah, boy.
So I want some grass to mow, even though they're going to do the grass at the house. But so I know the lease is coming, and I don't have the option to renew it because it's under the table subleasing. So I got to get my head on straight. But so we're coming on to the end. Thank you for the chit chat, guys. I just want to do a little quick recap with each one of you guys, and thank y'all for being here. I know that it was last minute that Animal had an emergency, and then Jennifer definitely had something going on that she had to attend to. So just really quick, I mean, thank you guys. Maggie, thank you. I normally say, where can people find you or connect with you? You're like, go through Shannon.
Facebook. That's it.
That's only what I say. I just thought you're like, but you're amazing. You're going to be back on, I promise. And Chrissy.
You can find me on Facebook, Christy Morales. You can find me on Paralinks, on any of the groups in Paralinks. So
I love it. Lauren.
Hey. And
Hey, girl.
Find me. I'm everywhere.
Oh, Liam has had his fill. He can't, but he's about the bus. He can't help but don't come in here. Say hi real quick and go away. No, I'm just kidding. Say hi.
I want to. Say
hi.
Hi.
Hi,
I
Liam.
want a light cutter. I want to make the light one.
Hey, we'll make the light another color. Mommy's done. I got like 10 minutes, okay?
Hey. Hey, Mama.
Mama, what?
We have a new screen right there.
I know.
It has a new part of the screen. New part of the screen. It's a woods. Look at that
It's
part.
the woods in the city. Hey, go in there for 10
I
minutes.
didn't see that before.
I love you.
I want that to be.
Give me a kiss. Mwah. 10
Hey, I
minutes.
want that to be a dark blue.
Okay, we'll do that next time.
He's too adorable.
My ring light's like a very light blue, almost white. I want that dark blue. Got you. Shut the door. 10 minutes.
Like Amanda already have an opinion.
We have
All
one
we
that did
need
just
to
come out.
happen here is, yeah. All right, Lauren.
Yeah. I was just saying, you can find me anywhere pretty much. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
That's my girl. You need crystals?
What was that?
You need crystals, stones,
Crystals,
anything like that? That's the girl. She'll be your dealer.
I need it all.
And hey, Chrissy can be your dealer for other things like called pure romance as well.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
I'm a buyer. It's great.
If I could
Oh my God.
stay, I'd be good. I don't have no problem getting them. It's just staying. Then
And Scotty.
Hi.
Hi.
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on my podcast, the Paranormal Jackass. JACKAZZ. It's Jackass, not Jackass. Flatline Paranormal. You can find me on Instagram as well. You can find me on TikTok. So YouTube. Yeah. So Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
And you're supposed to be on the 20th, but I might move you up to the 13th if that's okay with you. That's my lucky number.
May 13th?
April?
April.
Yeah, I have you on April 20th,
Okay.
but I need to move you up a little bit because there's a guest that was not fully confirmed, but I saved the space in case.
Right
And
on.
you're pretty awesome and predictable and not predictable.
What's that supposed to mean? I'm predictable.
I mean, dependable. I mean, as soon as I said it, I'm like, that's not the right word. Dependable.
Predictable. Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. I'm
I
down
have
for
no
that.
ill heart in my heart, man. I'm gonna move you up and I'm gonna creak the flyer and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look at this little dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
had
awesome.
me on your show when I was so fucking exhausted, and I felt so bad that
I
I was like
know.
talking
But
like this instead of being
you
lively.
did. But you did so good, and I was just like, and I knew you were tired. That's why I'm like, if don't want to do it, because I knew you had your trip.
Oh, I was not
Like,
gonna bail on you though.
I know, but I'm still thankful. I still got to have you and Jennifer Lee back on. So
Well, we're gonna do it next week, and we're gonna raise some hell. How about that? Keep
sounds great.
more than your boxers and socks, but we'll raise hell.
I'm down for that.
All right, guys. So this is normally when I say who's going to be next week, but I think we've already figured that shit out. It's going to be Scotty. So, since the other wasn't fully confirmed, which is great. There's a lot of things get locked in, but sometimes there's change and we just work with it and just have a good conversation. So guys, thank you for coming in tonight when I was like, okay, so this is different. You came in, we had great conversation. I appreciate you. And then we have Scotty. On the 27th, we have Ernie Pack. So now I got to fill the 20th. Might move his ass up. I'll ask him. So anyways, but guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And more than you know, thank you guys for being part of the show. This is where I'm always delayed doing the damn videos.
Thanks for having us.